So there was an argument going around when the Vince McMahon story broke, and basically it went along the lines of, well, in 6 months, who's going to care? It's professional wrestling, and, 1,000 stories are going to break about the stuff that's happening in the ring, so on and so forth. But I'm starting to get the feeling, I voiced this argument myself. I said I wasn't sure. There was a strong possibility that it might not, survive 6 months of close scrutiny, and it would just, kind of quietly go away. But I'm starting to get the feeling now that this isn't going to go away, and we are going to continue to be talking about this. There was a follow-up last night from Vice about the Ashley Massaro story and her allegations of WWE asking her to cover up her sexual assault. And, Vince actually sort of exhibiting predatory behavior towards her as an employee, forcing her to ride the jet with him and the other men that were there. And then also, coming to her door at night in the hotels, knocking on the door, trying to get her to open up. Now we have a bit more. And it says, this is from Vice, this is from yesterday, WWE wrestler Ashley Massaro accused Vince McMahon of sexually preying on wrestlers in a previously unreleased statement. In a statement obtained by Vice News, Massaro accused the WWE founder of predation and of retaliating against her for rejecting his advances. And so this broke yesterday, about 24 hours ago, around, it says 9:45 in the morning. Let's get right into it. It says, in a previously unpublished statement given before her 2019 death by apparent suicide, Ashley Massaro, a former WWE wrestler, said company founder Vince McMahon sexually preyed on female wrestlers, and that she was punished for rejecting his advances by giving bad scripts she believed were meant to destroy her reputation. Behavior, she said, he was known for. The statement was given to her lawyers as they worked up a sworn affidavit published shortly after her death, in which she said she was raped on a military base while in Kuwait on a WWE tour, and that management covered it up. The attorneys ultimately left it out because it wasn't relevant to central claims in the lawsuit in which they were representing her, which concerned concussions, because there was also a traumatic brain injury lawsuit going. I felt extraordinarily uncomfortable, Massaro said, describing what she said were McMahon's attempts to get her to come to his hotel room alone late at night. He began calling the hotel room phone and my cell phone nonstop. As Vice has reported, WWE publicly denied that its upper management knew about the rape allegation, but that was untrue. A lawyer for former executive John Laurinaitis said that he and, quote, most of upper management, end quote, were aware of it, a claim corroborated by previous statements from a former WWE doctor. A spokesman for TKO, WWE's parent company, declined to comment when provided a detailed accounting of the allegations in the statement and questions raised by it, aside from confirming that a top backstage employee named in the statement, Michael Hayes, currently works for WWE, and clarifying the nature of his job. A lawyer said to represent McMahon did not respond to a request for comment. In the previously secret statement, Massaro, who joined WWE as a wrestler in 2005, represented the company as a Survivor contestant and Playboy model, and ultimately was released in 2008, asserts that she saw McMahon making out with female wrestlers in the locker room and that he sexually harassed her. She also says that after she rejected his advances, he wrote demeaning scripts for her to perform that she inferred were meant to end her career and destroy her reputation, something that she said had previously happened to another female wrestler before she left the company. Vice News is withholding the name of this wrestler to protect her privacy. She could not be reached for comment. She also details two of McMahon's long-serving lieutenants counseling her on how to deal with this behavior. Wow, this rabbit hole just has no bottom. And then there's, I'm going to put this link to this article in the description. There's contact information from Vice if you are a former or current WWE wrestler with a similar story and you'd like to come forward. Rumors have long circulated about a WWE casting couch in which women were put in position to either yield to the sexual demands of male managers or be humiliated on camera or fired or both. They have been difficult to substantiate, in part because women believe they too have been subject to such schemes, have been hesitant to speak out for fear of retaliation from WWE, which until recently was controlled by McMahon and his family. Yikes. Currently, it is controlled by TKO, a conglomerate headed by Hollywood power player Ari Emanuel, whose Endeavor merged its own UFC with WWE last year. McMahon was brought in as chair of the newly formed company after he had resigned from WWE following Wall Street Journal reporting on secret hush money payments and allegations of sexual abuse of women who worked for WWE. You know, I was listening to Jim Cornette the other day. Actually, it was earlier today, and he was saying that he wonders if Triple H is just going to survive this. You know, Triple H is probably about business, but if this just keeps going and going and going, I mean, is he going to, get this stuff on him, this crap on him in a guilt by association kind of thing as his son-in-law? I hope that's not the case. I mean, unless some, evidence comes forward that, shines a light on Triple H doing something wrong. I think he's doing a pretty good job. But I mean, this could drag a lot of people down, and it's very unfortunate. It's terrible. This has become, it's only February. We're not even into the second week of February, and it's just been dark when it comes to wrestling. But, it seems to be the truth. I mean, this is innocent until proven guilty, but these allegations have been going on for decades about McMahon, so we'll see. McMahon resigned from TKO 2 weeks ago after being named alongside WWE and former talent relations head John Laurinaitis as defendants in a civil sex trafficking suit that alleged he raped, trafficked, and even defecated on an employee. Both men have denied the allegations. TKO has sought to portray the allegations as being in the past and having nothing to do with two men who are no longer associated with the company. That's smart. The creative and talent relations roles they held for most of this century are now filled by Paul Triple H Levesque, McMahon's son-in-law and hand-picked protege, who was groomed to replace McMahon over more than 20 years, first as a star wrestler and then as a member of management. Yeah, that's just what I was saying. We'll see. Vice News obtained, because, how do you not know? It just seems like this was something that everybody knew about, and I guess you just had to roll with it, because this is what happens when you have a monopoly on everything. There are no other places really for you to go. All right, Vice News obtained the statement from Constantine Kairos and Erica Mirabella, lawyers who represented Massaro and dozens of other former WWE wrestlers in a lawsuit seeking damages related to traumatic brain injuries. The suit was dismissed in 2018, and appeals which reached the Supreme Court were denied. Kairos was sanctioned by the judge and eventually ordered to pay more than $300,000 in fines for his conduct in the case. As part of the suit, the lawyers collected statements from dozens of wrestlers, including Massaro, and refined them into sworn affidavits. As Mirabella described it, they spoke in detail about Massaro's experiences in WWE, and then Mirabella wrote a draft affidavit. Massaro reviewed that and then offered feedback, new details, and edits on a phone call, which Mirabella used in preparing a new draft. They repeated this process several more times to come up with a final draft of the affidavit. Ashley was extremely detailed, thoughtful, and thorough throughout this entire process, Mirabella told Vice News. The previously unpublished statement was initially included as a section in the finalized affidavit, but members of Massaro's legal team ultimately decided to leave it out because it wasn't clearly relevant given that the lawsuit was about concussions. Our colleagues ultimately decided we should focus only on the sexual assault and physical injuries Ashley sustained. Mirabella said, so I discussed this with Ashley and she agreed that we could remove it, so it was deleted. We then finalized the affidavit, she signed it, and we submitted it to the court. The statement reads as follows. It has been reproduced verbatim as it was provided to Vice News with the exception of one redaction. Here we go. During my time in with the WWE, I had observed Vince McMahon making out with other divas in the locker room, but he never paid attention to me, and I assumed I was not his type. This changed after my Playboy cover was released. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to fly on the company jet and stay at the same hotels as the executives for a period of time so that I could get home faster to spend more time with my daughter. On one of these occasions, Vince was attempting to get me alone with him in his hotel room at night, and I felt extraordinarily uncomfortable. He began calling the hotel room phone and my cell phone nonstop. I called Kevin Dunn to explain the situation, and he said that I should tell Vince I was not feeling well and would see him on TV the next day, so I did. Immediately after that night, Vince started writing my promos for me. Vince does not write promos for female wrestlers. That is the job of the creative department, and he certainly wouldn't have, under any normal circumstances, written a promo for me. But he did, and the promos were written with the clear intention of ruining my career. I brought the first script Vince wrote for me to the WWE employee in charge of creative at the time, Michael Hayes, and he said, quote, "You're not saying this. Who the bleep wrote this?" And I told him that Vince did. He said, "Well, kid, these are the breaks," meaning that Vince wanted to end my career and destroy my reputation on my way out. He is known for this type of behavior and also did this too, and that whoever he did it to, that name is redacted upon her departure from WWE. In addition, after that night, each time I walked by him, he would make vulgar sexual comments that were clearly designed to make me uncomfortable. Kevin Dunn, referenced in this statement, is WWE's longtime production chief who served as one of McMahon's loyal right-hand men for more than 40 years. He left the company last month. That's convenient. In Massaro's statement, he is said to be one of the men who attended a meeting in which she was told not to speak about her claim to have been raped in Kuwait, in part because it could harm WWE's relations with the military. He told me not to let one bad experience ruin the good work they were doing, Massaro said of McMahon in the affidavit. He cannot be reached for comment, and TKO did not provide contact information for a representative. Hayes is a former star wrestler who works, as he has for many years, as a member of the creative team responsible for planning out and scripting WWE shows. And that is the article. This rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper. And I wonder if it has a bottom. And I said when I first released this, the first video on Ashley Massaro, I wondered if other people were going to start coming forward. I'm starting to think now that that is going to be the case. If these people did not feel safe before to do so, I think they are now. And you just feel bad for a lot of people that, as someone was saying, are maybe the relatives of the accused, the families of, the alleged victims. You feel bad for the people who are just showing up to work at WWE to do their job and do their best and put out a great product, the people that are just about business. You feel bad for the athletes who have absolutely nothing to do with this, that are just kind of being dragged down by it. It's a hell of a thing, and you wonder where it's going to end. I do think that this is something that's going to be, I think this could go on at least for the rest of the year. There's, like I said, a civil suit. Vince and I guess the Laurinaitis guy, John Laurinaitis, they're being investigated federally for sex trafficking. Brock Lesnar is now persona non grata. So this is real. This is real, and the fact that Vince is no longer in charge means that it can't be covered up like it was before, like what Michael Hayes does. Well, that's the bricks. I think that's no longer the case. And so, I think there's going to be a lot of this dirty laundry being aired out. Okay, that's my video. Like this video. It helps a lot. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this new thing. Are you surprised? I'm not exactly surprised, but you know that there are other names and other people. You know, we got redacted names here who may not want their experiences in the public forum, so on and so forth. I think probably a lot of people are going to be coming forward as time goes by. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. I just did a video yesterday. I talked for about 30 seconds about the kickoff. There's nothing that anybody who says that they know what's going on with the WrestleMania storyline, I think is completely full of it. I guess we'll just have to let that play out. But I also talked about, I just put out a video yesterday, Billy Jack Haynes, the former WWE wrestler, was arrested in a shooting that looks like involved his wife. I think Billy Jack Haynes now is 70. So, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of dark crap happening with wrestling right now. And hopefully, things will get better, but I think they might get a little worse before that happens, as is always the case. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video. God bless. Bye-bye.